What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It's the second day of June, and here we are with 22 hours, 38 minutes left in the day, sitting at about $105.6 thousand. Yesterday, we moved up just below 106K. I do think that we continue to move higher. I don't think that we're done here. I think that we move higher and lower. I don't anticipate that this is our low. I think that we move up, we find a lower high, and then we continue to move down. That's my expectation. I want to say even with that, though, it's very possible that this is the low, and I'm fully allocated in the markets myself. So even if I'm wrong and we don't go lower after this, we don't just see a lower high and then a lower low. Even if we just break through and see new all-time highs, I'm in a good position myself. So to be wrong. So if we continue to move here, it's very possible that we could find support right here. The main reason that I think we could find support here and move on up to new all-time highs is I think that nobody else is expecting that. It would make, and just looking at the charts, in my opinion, it makes all the sense in the world that we would go lower. And I'm assuming that I'm not the only one privy to this information. There's probably a lot of people who have access and eyeballs to the same charts that I'm looking at here. I think anybody with a brain could deduce that we're going to move down, and Bitcoin likes to throw people off its trail, and sometimes when the general expectation can go one way, Bitcoin moves the opposite direction. So it just wouldn't surprise me if this was the low, although that's not what I'm calling for. I don't think that Bitcoin has found its low yet. I do think that it'll move lower. Fear and greed is about the same as it was yesterday. If we're looking at this here, looking at the 4-hour time frame, taking a high to a low from our current all-time high, oops, to the low that we just had. I didn't even know that was on there. High to low here. We've gone just above our 236. Typically with this kind of interaction, you would expect to interact with the 382. With the 382 on the first attempt, oftentimes you wick through it and then come down and close below it, right? Something like that. If you were to go just above it, as is very typical with the 382, you'd find resistance at prior areas of support here, support there, resistance, right? It would make a lot of sense to go up to about 107,000, 106,500, somewhere in that area, just below 107K, just above 107K, whatever. Something just in that area. It would make a lot of sense to go up there, probably find resistance, some turbulence, and then what we do next is a bit of a question. Do we find a higher low and build, or do we continue to go lower and then see a lower low? I'm under the impression we go lower, but again, it's very possible this is not the low. It's very, very possible. Most corrections only need a 1, 2, 3 correction anyways. I mean, after all, that's what we have here. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, 4-hour RSI is breaking out of its downtrend, right? Oftentimes when you break out of your downtrend, that doesn't mean that you're absolved of going lower, but that does assume at least that you're very near the low, if not at the low itself. So here we are, probably moving up a little bit more, right, on the 4-hour time frame. We'll find a higher high or some kind of form of resistance here. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a higher high in the RSI with a lower high in the price, right? Notice how this high over here is correlated with this high. I think that we're going to move up here. We're going to have a lower high in the price while establishing a higher high in the RSI. That'll be hidden bearish divergence and oftentimes marks continuation in a downtrend. So I don't expect too much of this, right? 107,500, 106,500, somewhere in that zone, and then down. Yeah, that can change, and we can change, but I think that we'd have to wait a day or so to get any kind of a different expectation other than just going lower than this low, right? For now, we're trending down. That's the expectation. Looking at the 1-hour time frame, I guess for now, like for right now, we're trending up in the very, very short term, like today. But I think that we have more downside to go is all I'm trying to say beyond this here. 1-hour RSI looking good, yeah. So I definitely do believe that you move up today. Today's going to be another green day, right? Yesterday was a nice green day. Today's going to be a green day. We closed last week with the recent close of yesterday. Closed a bearish engulfing candle there. It's not a friendly look, if we're being honest. It's really not a friendly look at all. But that's okay. Sometimes we get bearish engulfing candles and it doesn't amount to anything. But to make matters worse, we not only got a bearish engulfing candle on that week, we also rejected the overbought zone. And this is also after seeing a 7-week stint where we just ran to the upside. So it's very possible. And if anybody knows the TD sequential or anything about it, right? Like and maybe it's not just the TD sequential. I forget what the actual indicator is called. But I know that this is implemented in the TD sequential. When you have like 7 green weeks in a row, it's that 7th week, that marks the top. I mean, there's a couple of things that signal a top signal, not like a cycle top signal, but just a momentary high signal where we could consolidate for a few weeks. So get cozy, you guys. We really could be at this area. It wouldn't surprise me at all if this week was a rather boring week. Again, I do expect that we move up today, maybe even into tomorrow. So Monday and Tuesday, a little bit of an update, or at least today, Monday, and then we'll probably continue to move down. until we're below this low. Ultimately, I think that we're going to go just below 102K down to like 101.7K or somewhere around there, but we could go lower. It's very possible. Time will tell. I don't think I have anything else that I want to say. I've said everything that I need to say. So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Even if we do stall here for a week or 2 or 3, Bitcoin has dramatically higher prices to go, right? People are talking about this cycle ending within like the next couple of weeks or so, or within the next month or so, and I just don't see it happening, man. Cycles, the reason why any of these Bitcoin cycles ended and went through these torrential bear markets is because they grew way faster, way faster than gravity would allow, let's just say. And they got these huge pullbacks. Here, whenever I learned TA, whenever I learned technical analysis, I was taught that building this kind of structure where you move up and then you stair step like this, you consolidate for a long time, moving up in a very controlled fashion. I learned that this is very healthy behavior and that this oftentimes prolongs the cycle. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if this cycle was the longest cycle. I mean, in several aspects, it already is the longest cycle that we've already had, that we've ever had. But I wouldn't be surprised if this cycle had more gas left in the tank. Okay, we very much are not done here. We have higher to go. I'm expecting 500,000 by the end of the cycle. Whenever it's all said and done, that'll be somewhere at the end of this year. And you never know, man. I mean, it could continue into 2026, but we'll see. I got nothing else to say, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe. At the end of the day, I'm just expecting that we move up a little bit from here, like over the next day or two, and then we'll probably spend the rest of the week moving down to about $101,000, $102,000, somewhere in that area. Okay, bye-bye.